Hello and welcome back to module 16. Now this is where I'm going to walk you through long-term memory, the idea of using long-term memory that can be shared across multiple agents. In the previous demo, I have shown you how to use ephemeral transient memory that is used as a scratchpad by the agent, and you can even externalize that to databases like SQLite. But in this demo, I want to show you how you can store certain memories for longer term, and you can share that across multiple agents. So if you haven't watched my previous demo, which is module 15, I strongly encourage you to stop this video and watch that before you come back to it, because it builds upon the concepts that I explained and the code that I explained in the previous demo. Thank you. So let's get started. First, I import the modules required by Google ADK. And here, the most important modules that I'm importing are load memory and preload memory. So these are responsible for an agent to load memory either in memory or even externalized. We'll talk more about that in the session today. So I have a helper function. This helper function is exactly the same as the previous one. It accepts the instance of a runner, user query, either as a list or as a string, and it basically invokes the model that is the agent and directly prints the output. So this is the helper function responsible for executing the runner. So that's the core orchestrator of our program. So now we'll create the memory, which is called as the in-memory memory service. Now don't get confused between session and memory. Session is a scratchpad. It is internal. It cannot be shared across agents, and it is per user, per session, and per conversation. Whereas a memory is slightly long term. It can be externalized and it can be shared across multiple agents, and it selectively captures the snapshot of a session and remembers what is required. So if you are using tools like Gemini and ChatGPT, you're already familiar with memory. You can actually click a checkbox in these chatbots and agents that says, hey, remember what I said last time, and build upon the memory that you already acquired. So that's exactly how the memory works. You don't have to repeat yourself, and it captures the important aspects of your in-memory session and it stores in the in-memory memory service. It's also possible to externalize this. There is something called Agent Memory Bank, which is available on Vertex AI, and it is very simple to replace in-memory session service with the Vertex AI Agent Memory Bank. But for now, we will stick to in-memory memory service. So let's initialize the agent. So we will invoke this, and we have declared the agent called the user agent, and the name of this agent is memory demo agent. And then we'll create a session, and we will pass another parameter to the runner this time, and that is basically the memory service. So we will run this cell, and this instantiated the runner, and the runner now has both session, which is short-term memory, and memory, that is long-term memory, associated with it. Now I'm going to run a session, and this is going to invoke our helper function by accepting the runner ID, the runner instance that we created here, the actual query, and then the session ID. So my favorite color is blue-green. Please write a haiku about it. So it's going to come back to us, and it will basically write a funny haiku about the color blue-green. Now, in the next step, what we'll actually do is we will take a look at the actual conversation. So that is the session. Now you can actually notice that it contains the user saying my favorite color is blah, blah, blah. Can you write a haiku about it? And the model coming back. So this is saved as a part of the in-memory session. Now comes the most important part, where we will offload the in-memory details to the memory. So we are basically selectively transferring the contents of memory, which is short-term memory, to long-term memory. So this is the most important step in this demo. So we are invoking add session to memory, and we are passing the session object that contains my favorite color and the haiku that was written. So once we offload the short-term memory to the long-term memory, we will create a new agent. And this time, the agent is using a tool called load memory. So load memory is an internal tool that we can pass to an agent. And now when we create the agent and invoke it with the run session, it is going to basically remember what we said previously. So now we create a runner and we are calling the agent with this question that says, what is my favorite color? Because we are able to unload the memory and enable or empower the agent with the previous long-term memory, it should be able to come back to us with what our favorite color is. I remember that your favorite color is blue-green. And what I want you to notice here is we are completely changing the session. This is called color test. And earlier this was called conversation 1. And despite that, we are able to we are able to make the agent remember the memory or the context of the conversation. You can try this with another session. So now I'm creating another session called birthday session 1, and I'm saying my birthday is on March 15th. And we can now again add this session to the memory manually. So let's add this to the long-term memory, and then we will basically search, or before that, let's run the actual session. So when we run the session, it comes back and says your birthday is on March 15th. Now, what I want you to notice here is the session ID is very different from these two. The first one was called birthday session 1 and the second one is called birthday session 2, and still the agent remembers because we are using long-term memory and that can be shared across multiple agents. Now that is the fundamental difference between session and memory. So session is the scratch pad and is very specific to one agent, one conversation, and typically one user, whereas the memory can be shared across multiple users, multiple agents, and even multiple sessions. So that is the idea of the long-term memory. Now, if you are curious on what exactly is being stored in the memory, we can use this function that says search memory. Now, inside search memory, the query is what is the user's favorite color, and when we actually run this, it figures out that one of the previous memories consisted of my favorite color is blue-green. So it retrieved all those from the memory history. So this is how you basically access the long-term memory. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is pretty much possible for you to change the in-memory service to Vertex AI Agent Memory Bank and use a managed service for memory, and you can store it in the cloud. But for now, for this demo, we are sticking to in-memory memory service. So I hope you found this session useful. In the next session, I'm going to walk you through using tools, both inbuilt and custom tools of ADK. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. You can find the link to this notebook in the description below the video. Thanks again.